we're back at the house because so Dad essentially wanted to see underneath the house because I had to use GoPro and it won't record or whatever. So he wanted to see underneath the house, so we came back, put Gunther back underneath the house. Unfortunately, Gunther's main battery isn't charged up enough, even though the main battery pack is perfectly charged, 97% or 96%. So I don't know if we're letting it charge at this point, and then we're going to try again or what? I'm not sure. So I'll do a house tour here shortly before we leave. We're getting ready to leave. Yeah. Okay. Alright, we've just been sitting around on the porch for like hours. At this point, just talking. Got their way back into the house a fourth time. So it's pretty good. So, alright, house tour. We'll start in the kitchen. Okay, real quick. I know it's a mess, but this is the laundry room. There's actually a washer and dryer in here from the 70s. So that's kind of cool. This is all stuff, carpet, and everything that came out of the rest of the house because it's kind of being remodeled. This room was added on, don't know when, 50s, 70s. Alright, kitchen. Original cabinets, everything. Original back window. The original back door. If you can see that or not. It's being worked on a little bit by little bit. This will be my bedroom back here. This is where all the wall paneling came from. Needs some work done, but we'll get it. The hallway with an original phone nook. The bathroom, which is 70s chic, really is. All this is coming out. So there's a Cadillac out there if you can see it. You can. Dining room. This was all that 70s wood paneling, and my friend and her mom painted it for me. It looks great. Hole in the floor. Living room. So wood paneling, original light fixtures for the house. Yeah. And then in here, with all my stuff in it, is the office. That's pretty much it. The office is the room that doesn't need as much work as any other room. Do they all need work? Sure, they all need work. But we've been exploring under the... I don't remember where the light switches are for this house. So, anyway, alright, got it. We're exploring under the house, looking at the utilities, and seeing what may or may not need to be fixed, repaired, whatever it is, today and yesterday. And trying to work up a plan. So, we know way more now than we did, which is good. So, yeah, now we got to come up with a plan on what we're going to do. But anyway, Push is actually moving out here further out. However, it is what it is. It's an old house. So, that's it. What do you think of my French doors? I always wanted French doors in my house. That's the thing. So, alright. Okay, so, check out that sunset there. Anyway, we stopped in the, we started back with the pickup truck and the little trailer, and we have stopped in the next town up from home and checked the hubs, the brand new lights on the trailer, so check the license plate holder because it's plastic. I had a squeak just as we were coming into town. I had like a squeak and a hesitation in the truck, so the AC, which has blown cold the entire time I've owned this pickup truck, has suddenly started blowing kind of lukewarm. It's warm and cold, warm and cold, so I think the AC compressor is getting ready to go out. That being the case, I shut it off, and we are now without AC for the rest of the trip. Now, it's not that big of a deal. Today it's probably like 78 right now outside. So, 270 air conditioning is probably what we're going to go with. 265, somewhere in there. And just roll it on. And just keep an eye on things. So, that's pretty much where we are right now. And then we'll be home here in a little while. Well, back to Fort Worth. It's late. It's really late. The problem is I can never remember exactly where I am as far as these videos are concerned. Like, where I exist in the video. Because I kind of just make the videos. I don't really think about, like, the storyline. I just take a video, like, oh, this would be cool to share. I take a video and then move on, So I'm not entirely sure where I am right now in the video. So that's why I always do, like, a recap at the end of the day. So, let's see, got up today. We went to Tractor Supply first to get safety chains for the trailer, because I didn't have safety chains. Then we drove all the way to Harbor Freight, which is a pretty good distance, because the Tractor Supply was in one town, and then the town I live in is the next town over. And then from there, the next town over has a Harbor Freight in it. So we had to drive 30 minutes one way to Harbor Freight to get the bolts that I needed to put the license plate on the trailer, because we had to put the license plate back on the trailer. And went back to the house. No, we went to Dad's house, essentially, and like, dropped the keys off for the bunkhouse. And then we sat around for like 3 hours and chit-chatted. Had a great time. A fantastic visit. And we ended up going back to the house today, my house. And we put Gunther back under the house because Dad needed to see, like, what was going on underneath the house. So we put Gunther back under the house. He almost died the first time, so we ended up sitting around for a while, like, just talking on the front porch. And everything. And then we went back. I got there, put him under the house for a fourth time. And finally got to see what we wanted to see. So, I don't know what the plan is right now as far as the water and the sewer is concerned for the house. We also found that the gas line for the stove is actually running off of, it's got a little piece of copper line that runs up to a flexible line that comes up through the floor. And because of that, we're not happy with the way that's set up. So the stove is supposed to go, so in the kitchen, where that box, that square hole is in the wall, that's where the stove is supposed to go. But for some reason, they had it on the other side of the house, next to the fridge. I never really saw it that way. I saw the stove as being over where that square hole is, and then the fridge being on the opposite side, which I want a vintage fridge, like a 1950s fridge, and it's a Perdomo, by the way. I think it's a Perdomo Habano. I think it's a Connecticut, if I remember. But anyway, so Perdomo, you see that? Good. All right. So we discussed everything as far as the plumbing is concerned and the sewer lines are concerned. It's a mess under there. It looks almost like somebody went under there and they were trying to put sewer line in at some point, and then just gave up for whatever reason and never finished it. So somehow, some way, somebody's going to have to go underneath the house and finish the sewer line, putting in the sewer line, because the sewer line's bad. The original cast iron sewer line is bad. So we did that, and then we sat around talking about all kinds of stuff. Had a great visit. And then ended up going to... We hooked up the trailer. Well, the trailer was already hooked up with the pickup truck, so we fired the pickup truck, headed out. I had some trouble with the turn signals. on the pickup truck. On and off, they didn't want to work. We finally discovered that probably the problem is the where I wired into the harness for the truck. So we're probably gonna have to disconnect all that and try again, and come up with a better connection. But I'm losing the turn signals altogether. So I've got to do some research into why I'm losing the turn signals altogether. But that's what I'm doing. But I still had running lights. I still had headlights and taillights. So I still had brake lights, which is good. So we did bring it all the way here. The Mercedes. So I thought the last time I was here, like 3 months ago, and tried to fire up the Mercedes to use it, that the alternator was bad. Because we didn't test it right. And so this time I pulled the battery out. And we brought it here to the house in Fort Worth and put it on the battery charger. And it came almost back to full charge. I think it was like 690 cold cranking amps. It's like at 663. And on the way home, the truck's loud as shit. Me and my uncle really couldn't talk. So I'm sitting there and I had this epiphany about the Mercedes. Where I was thinking to myself, like, it's a Mercedes, so it probably has a lot of draw on the battery. And it's set for 3 months, or it's set for a month, or something like that. And that's probably, the battery was just dead. Because it was ultimate zero. So we started it, and the reason that we were getting a weird reading for the alternator was like 12.5 volts was because the battery was almost dead. And we jump started it. So this time we charged the battery over the weekend while we were gone. Came home, put the battery in the Mercedes, started the car, and then disconnected the battery to see if the alternator was bad. Which is probably not the best way to do that, but that's what we did. And then reconnected, and the car ran just on the alternator. So okay, put the battery back on, and everything was fine after that. So that was a win for this week, which is good. I needed one, and everything. So Mercedes is here. The truck is at the yard here. The Caprice is all the way at home in West Texas, and I think the idea is I'm gonna load up my stuff like this next weekend and take it all out there and unload it, and then I'm going to leave the Caprice and the pickup truck out in at home in West Texas, and the Mercedes is gonna come back here and stay here, so that way I have a car here when I want to go driving around here. If I'm like here for like a 34 or something like that, I think that's what we're gonna do. I'm not sure. I haven't quite decided if that's what's gonna happen or not, but probably. And then if I want to go out there, I can. If I don't want to go out there, I don't have to. Blah blah blah. Which is kind of nice. So anyway, that's pretty much it. We went to Chili's for dinner. The more I fast in the mornings, the longer I can go. I have lost weight, for sure. I'm able to fit in places I couldn't necessarily fit before, which is kind of nice. So I'm doing pretty good at it. I'm keeping it up. So that's great. And then yeah, that's it. So we went to Chili's and I ordered a lot of food because I thought I was hungry, and I couldn't eat but a third of it maybe, and brought a bunch of it home. And so yeah, so that's kind of how today went. And now I'm at home smoking a nice cigar, really ready to turn in for the night. So anyway, that's it. Thanks for coming along today on this adventure, and I hope to have many more with you guys. You know the drill. Keep the shine set up. See you down the road.